Hi, Jason Spangler, the SanteeSwapper, back with another unboxing. Here's what I've got. This is really interesting. A lady contacted me and said that her father had a bunch of scouting memorabilia, and here's what they wanted to do. They wanted to sell the scouting memorabilia in order to put money in a 529 college plan for the child. Now, what a smart investment that is, to literally turn your Boy Scout patches into an investment into the future, into your family tree, I guess you'd say. And so she shared pictures of the collection with me, made her an offer, which I thought was, probably very generous. And they accepted after some thought and decided to send me the box. It's a nice big box of stuff here. This came from Utah. And so we're going to cut into this box and show you everything. And we will see if the return on investment for this 529 plan and for good old SanteeSwapper really makes sense. Okay, here's the inside of the box, and it is loaded down. The thing that I'm really was interested in is all these Jamboree sets. Coming up this summer, it's summer of 2026, there's a National Scout Jamboree happening in the Summit in West Virginia, and this scouter had attended several Jamborees, and he collected some of the marquee sets that the councils would put out. Now, I'll put these under the camera and let you see them in greater detail, but there's many cool Jamboree sets in here, and I just had to make an offer and try to buy it. So let's switch now to this close-up camera, and I'm going to show you some of these really cool Jamboree sets. Okay, I thought we would try a different camera angle just to be able to pull back some. So let's see if this works. You can see here Longs Peaks Council, and that's Colorado, Nebraska, Wyoming. It's got a whole group of that. And then we turn the page here. You'll see Cola Lodge 464, also part of that council. And so this might give us a little clue as to this guy and where he's from. Now let me see if I can rotate it. That might be the advantage of using this camera setup that I've got here. So these are, of course, Jamboree ones. National Scout Jamboree, 1997. Then we can see here, he's got these just kind of taped in. Here's a really cool looking Cola Lodge set. Featuring, looks like E. Erner Goodman, the founder of the Order of the Arrow. There's Baden Powell. So this set probably goes together. And then this would suggest Fort Collins, Colorado. So this is most likely a camp patch, Long Peak Council. That's probably a symbol for their camp, 1950. Then you can see here some more patches. Ben Delator. Come over here, Ben Delator Scout Ranch. See more here. Here's another Long Peaks set, along with some camp patches. And I like how he's got this laid out where he chose a heavy cardstock that's in an unusual color, kind of like a, what'd you call that, guys? Like a sage green, I guess. It's kind of his backdrop there. Longs Peaks Council 2013 Jamboree. And then here's just some CSPs. I guess I could, let me turn this around again. We're going to be flexible here, guys. So Denver, you can see here a bunch of stuff from Denver. And he's got here more stuff from Denver. Again, not, the collection came to me from Utah. That's where the daughter lives, but I'm not sure where this guy was doing his scouting. A bunch of stuff here from Utah National Parks. Of course, all that dinosaur imagery was something that those guys were known for many years. Got some dinosaurs up here as well. So these are great looking council shoulder patches. Some of them for different events and some of them just regular issues. Again, they used to love to have those dinosaurs. They would use them on the Jamboree sets. And they would send a lot of troops from this Utah group out to the National Scout Jamboree. Flip over here, we see a few more things and transitioning over to some OA flaps as well. These are from Amangamek Whippet, which is the National Capillary Council. And then this set here, you've got Orange County Council. Of course, that's in California 2010, and they have their surfboards. There's a really cool set. I don't know if we'll see it in this one or not, that there's actually pins made for these surfboards. And there's a giant patch that all the surfboard pins fit onto. That was really the, I won't say quite revolutionary, but the very novel thing that they did that year with those guys. Again, more flaps. Famous Malibu flap from California has the pin as well, which is really cool. Friends of Scouting patches, those are always good to get. Those are fundraiser patches where the Boy Scouts would give a patch if someone donated at a certain level. And so I'm seeing several examples of that. And then, so I'll have to go through these and use my reference book and try to figure out which ones are which and how to market these. But definitely some cool stuff in this notebook. And then some blank pages. So he was ready to go, man. He had some blank pages ready to go. Just hadn't filled those up. All right, let me put the notebook away, and then we'll transition to these Jamboree sets. Now, right off the bat, we're going to see some really impressive Jamboree sets, and don't know if he's got them taped together or not. Looks like maybe they are. That's if he does, it's actually going to make it a lot easier for us to check these out. So let me see if I can unfold the tape here, and then I'll be able to lay it over and show you guys this really, really cool set. If I can do it without messing the tape up. Let's see if I can do it. Oh, not bad. Only had one flip over. So for any of those who are not super familiar with scouting memorabilia, this is something that's happened here in the last couple of decades, is that councils figured out that if they could partner with a company to make a patch that had kind of a little bit of appeal to it, that this would make it so much better for not only the scouts who were trading these things at the Jamboree with thousands and thousands of other scouts, but honestly also for the councils, because it would allow them just to make and sell more. So Theodore Roosevelt Council, obviously Nassau County, New York, they had a connection here with these Marvel characters. These sets, they made them for several years. They were big traders. I mean, what kid wouldn't want to have, Wolverine and all X-Men, all these different characters here. And so this is a really, really cool set. Very well, nicely laid out. But wait, there's more. All right. Again, I don't want to disrupt what he built there, so let me just sort of slide that over and see if I can. Man, this one, it's just got a little bit of masking tape on it, so I think I can get this to work without totally goofing it up, guys. Might take me a second here. How he had this all laid out. So another council that really went all in on this system was the Connecticut Yankee Council. And in this case, you have all of these Marvel characters. Now, guys, of course, all of this was done with a licensing agreement. So none of this is just, knockoffs. I think that's all of them, guys. So this one is 2013 National Scout Jamboree. And you can see all of these Marvel characters, which is pretty amazing. Again, all of these were officially licensed. I don't know what the connection was, how they had the end. This is obviously before Disney gets involved and starts buying up all these rights and stuff. But anyways, cool stuff here. You can see all these characters on that gigantic set. And honestly, just being completely honest, this is why I decided to make such a strong offer for this collection, because I felt like if I number one, I might actually keep some of these if I really, the patch collector in me is like, don't let them go. No, keep them. I'm going to see if there's any more tucked under there. Okay. But, and here's a smaller version of that. And then there's a couple, check these out. I mean, like I said, here's one that's hanging out. I feel like there was one that was hanging loose. I think maybe Thor went there. And then there's a couple of Silver Surfer pieces that are OA flaps from Lodge 313. So these honestly were kind of like the marquee sets from this Jamboree, the ones that every kid wanted. And so the chance to buy these complete with all the pieces, it was really just a little too tempting for me. So I kind of swung really hard at this one and was happy that they agreed to let me buy this collection. My guess is he probably was trading those dinosaur sets or something else. All of those Utah councils made really big sets. And that's my guess as to what he was trading in order to land all of these. Now, if some of you think, oh man, okay, I guess I've seen it all. No, you haven't. Let me keep showing you these. And again, I got to be a little careful with this because I don't want this to all fall apart, but I'm going to set it down over to the side here so that I can load up another one. All right, again, some of you people who are not scout collectors, prepare to be amazed. Sorry for the fuzzy screen right there. It needs to focus on something, so it doesn't like not having anything to focus on. Again, I'm still trying out a new way to do my streaming, and so this is all kind of new for me. Boom, okay. So this was another set that everybody just lost their mind over. This, of course, is Monsters, Inc. And in 2013, it was a big, big thing. So Mount Diablo's Silverado Council out in California, they got permission to use this, and you can actually see right there, you probably can't see it, but let me just say I'm pointing to, there's a little copyright symbol, Disney and Pixar. So somehow, some way, they got permission to use all of these characters on this set. And man, this was a popular set. Oh my Lord, this was a popular set. Everybody was after this one. So that's a cool set. Again, I mean, this is the only reason I went big to buy this collection was I'm getting all of these like marquee sets that everybody was trying to get. This is another one from 2013. This was the Blues Brothers. Okay, so Blues Brothers, you're going to get Northwest Suburban Council, which is in Chicago. And this set includes JSPs, which are Jamboree shoulder patches, and also the OA piece that goes there as well. All right, for any of those of you who are not Scout Patch collectors, I'm going to introduce you to a new concept. All right, this is what we call a spoof set. It is a spoof set. Now, I know the guy who created this set, and he told me that there's some wrinkle in copyright law where if you go in and you change enough things that it's not necessarily violating copyright law. Now, between you and me and the horse post, we all know that that's Yoda and that's Obi-Wan Kenobi and that's Anakin and that's Darth Vader. He would argue that that's not quite the color of C-3PO or how R2-D2 is supposed to be displayed. But anyways, all that aside, Okanichi Council, Sea Scout Ship 762, 2005 Jambo. One way you can spot spoof patches is a couple things. Number one, a lot of times they'll try to be cute and not actually have the full name of the event. So like they'll use words like Jambo. This one here, Sea Scout Ship 762, that actually does exist, but it was not a Jamboree unit of any kind. And this set was very popular. In fact, it was a little too popular. Fun fact, this one was so controversial, had so many people up in arms, that literally it became kind of radioactive, and the people who made them and were out trading them, they were basically, they basically, in the end, it was so like, people were such in arms about it that I was told the last couple of days of the traderie, what they would do is they went to the grocery store and they bought brown paper bags, and they put their set in a brown paper bag, and they would go up to someone and say, hey, do you want to trade for the Star Wars set? And of course, the person would say, yes, of course. And they literally like open the brown paper bag and show them it to them and hand it to them like in the brown paper bag. And I mean, I'm not telling you. I know this is Boy Scouts. You're like, you're kidding me. This is like drug deals or something. I'm telling you, this is the story. This is no April Fool's joke. I'm recording this on April Fool's Day. That's what I was told happened to get these Star Wars patches out there. So true story. All right, here we go. Another cool set. You can see this one here, a road trip, Sequoia Council in California, and just, it's probably some national parks and stuff that are demonstrated there. And then we also have, again, a lot of these have extra pieces that go with them there. Earlier, I said that there was some surfboard pins that went with that set. Well, let me introduce you to this one. This one was another year. I think this is 2010 or this is 2013. And so they did skateboards. And so you have all of these skateboards here, and these numbers in the skateboards are the troops. So this is, of course, Orange County Council, which is like Los Angeles. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different troops. And then each troop had its own CSP. I can't tell you why there's an extra one there, probably for staff or something like that. Then there's an OA flap. There's this guy here, which honestly, I don't really remember seeing that piece of it. And then there's these super cool pins that go here. They're absolutely funky, cool pins that pin on the back of this back patch. So again, this is why I chase this. It's just like the full set. It's all taped together. It's all, complete. And to me, that was just, super cool. So was glad to get that. Let me slide him over, and we'll give you another set here. I've got more sets to show, guys. All right. So this one is Laurel Highlands Council. This is a council in Pennsylvania. And you can see here that this is sort of celebrating the Civil War. So you got all the different imagery here with the Confederates and the Union. This is the original Flag of the Confederacy. Many people think the Confederate flag with the stars and bars on it. This is when they talk about stars and bars. This is actually what they're talking about. This is the true flag of the Confederacy, at least to begin with. And then you just got a lot of imagery there. So again, another cool set there. If you think I'm done, I am not done. I have got some more unbelievably cool sets to show you guys. This next one, some of y'all are going to lose your minds. All right, this is one of the craziest sets from recent jamborees, especially in terms of how people received this and just sort of like, you know, the people were just kind of in love with this set. Obviously, it needs no introduction. Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Yes, and it keeps going. This is the crazy thing about this set. It's not just like, if this was not alone enough, all the pieces, there's even all of these pieces that go with it. You know, got to have the Black Knight. You got to have the Knights of Knee. You got to have, oh, there's your Black Knight, right? You got to have the Trojan horse thing. I mean, this set right here, man, it was just like crazy. Now you can imagine if this set is laying down on a blanket, some kid from Denver has this, and this is 2017. I mean, how many patches is it, right? It's like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, although that's a really big patch. And there's probably like 8 around there. So this is like 20 patches. So not only do you have to try to trade the kid or the adult 20 patches to get this, but you also have to trade them maybe even more than that because they know that this is one of the big sets that everybody wants. So, you know, they got your Holy Grail. I mean, this is one of those, again, I'm like, do I keep this? I have never had the entire set in my own collection. I have seen grown men have this framed and hang on the wall. They were so proud to get this complete set because, of course, they could go through and tell you all the characters and all the stories. And, you know, it's just a classic movie. Pretty amazing. So the complete Monty Python set is a part of this collection. And I normally, when I'm buying collections, I know you guys have watched these unboxings before. No, I am normally buying really vintage collections. I'm not usually buying collections that are kind of what I would sort of call modern. But, you know, again, what happened here, someone's trying to take care of their family. And so, you know, Grandpa said, hey, I'll let you guys sell my Scout patch collection in order to put some 529 money in the bank. And that's what they did. Denver Area Council here, you can see they kind of had different themes. This is 2010 and this is 2013. So they kind of had that theme here. Let's see what year that is. I'm reading upside down, so a little harder. Yeah, 2013. So these two actually go together. And then these two sets complement each other. So with all the cars and everything. But then, of course, you also got to have the 2-piece sets here and another little patch there. So again, lots and lots of patches here. Guys, believe it or not, I got more. There's still more sets. Dun, dun, dun. Keep going, keep going. All right. Bring some of these out. Okay, Great Salt Lake. I mentioned that the Utah troops, they brought a lot of kids to the Jamboree. And so this is Great Salt Lake Council, one of the councils out there in Utah. You can see they're set here, and this one was for the 2013 Jamboree. They also had, it keeps going. They also had this set. Again, that's a lot. Then we get over to Utah. We can switch and we can say, okay, what about those dinosaur ones, Jason? Well, here you go. Here's the Utah National Parks Council, and they've got this 2013 set. And then you can say, wait a minute, they got so many troops, they need another set of dinosaurs. It just keeps going. And then, if that's not enough, let's make another set of dinosaurs. Now, I don't think there was ever a dinosaur that looked like that. That looks like a dragon. But anyways, who cares? It's cool. And you got all these dinosaurs all the way around. Another one they did for another Jamboree was more of the car design. And that's this guy here. This is going back again to Great Salt Lake Council. They got all these cars here. And then lastly, a couple of add-ins. So let's see what else I got in the bag. I think I've got some more stuff. Let's see what else is in here. All right, empty the box out here. One thing that happens at a lot of jamborees is you'll trade for stuff from other scouts from other countries. And so, of course, that's a neckerchief from the UK. I believe this is Norway or Sweden. Somebody's going to tell me. Or maybe it's Scottish. No, I don't think it's Scottish, but I think that's just a different patch there. Then he had, of course, just a regular neckerchief from 2010. Let's see what else here. There's a bag here of stuff from 2013. Pull this out and show you. Now, to me, this is kind of a hard patch to get, and I don't know if people appreciate that as much, but what they did was, and I thought this was really clever. In fact, I thought it was so clever, I stole the idea for the camp that I work at, Camp Barstow. We did this one year. But essentially, you have these little woven strips, and the patch itself is cut out, has these holes there, and you would earn these woven strips and then put them down. And so that, to me, is really cool to have all of them loaded up. So the kid who earned this patch and did all this stuff, that would have taken them days and days of the Jamboree, I would think, to go around to all these different activities and to get all those strips. So I think that's pretty cool. Then a lot of duplicate patches of 2013, which honestly is not a very easy patch to get. There weren't a lot of extras of these at the end for people to get. Then he also has things like a staff patch and a Jamboree director patch. A lot of times these were signed on the back. That one's not, but a lot of times they were. And then some Jamboree jacket patches. Again, 2013 was a big Jamboree. It was the first time it was held at the summit. And my recollection is this stuff was kind of hard to find. It wasn't that easy to get the 2013 stuff. Here's some stuff from 2010. So this was the last Jamboree held at Fort AP Hill. And so we see like a Chief Scout Executive patch. Again, I was checking the back to see if it was signed by the Chief Scout Executive. This one was not, but a bunch of duplicates there. This was a huge Jamboree, big deal. I was there. A lot of kids were there. Cool stuff. Now we're kind of getting to the very end of the items in the bag, or I should say in the box. Here's a big old neckerchief. Of course, if you were in Utah, this is where the LDS church is, and they were celebrating 100 years of scouting in 2013. Had some other pieces here that kind of went with that, and then he would have had some other patches here. So unfortunately, I believe it was maybe in the last, I think it was maybe 2019. I couldn't be getting this wrong, guys. Someone correct me in the notes. But eventually, the Mormon Church does decide to go out and create its own youth program. Prior to that time, for over 100 years, the Mormon Church had used the Boy Scouts of America as their youth program for young boys. But eventually, they decide to create their own youth program that can hold a little firm to their ideals and promote their church and what they believe. And so they broke. And unfortunately for the Boy Scouts, that was kind of a, well, I can't quite say mortal wound, but when you lose about 30% of your membership in 1 year, that's a pretty bad blow. So I always tell people when it comes to the Boy Scouts, you really go back and you look over the last decade, it was the Mormons leaving, then it was COVID, then it was the bankruptcy. And those three things literally about took the Boy Scouts out. I mean, I have many friends who are very, very high up in the Boy Scouts, at least on the volunteer side. And I had some of them tell me that it was pretty touch and go for a while as to whether there would be a Boy Scouts of America after all that. But we're still here. As you know, is that from Monty Python? He's not dead yet. I think that is from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. He's trying to remember from the plague. Oh, never mind. Y'all don't know that joke. Anyways, that's the end of it. Just got some more stuff here. Maybe he went in 1985 and got some patches there. So, man, you were seeing the whole collection. And this is what I was trying to get when I bought this collection. Well, that's it, guys. Just an amazing collection. This is the kind of thing I don't really ever get because I mostly get vintage collections from people who are doing scouting in the 60s or even before that, which I love. But the chance to get a very modern collection that had complete Jamboree sets that I know people are looking for, that was one I just couldn't pass up. So I made them a very generous offer, and hopefully now that money has been invested into the stock market in a 529, and it'll help pay for someone's future college bills, tuition, and such. Jason Spangler, the SanteeSwapper. This is what I do. I buy scouting memorabilia. If you have a collection that is looking for a new home, please reach out. Go to my website, scoutpatchcollectors.com. There you can find all my contact information. Give me a call, send me a text or an email. I would love to talk to you and see if I can help you get your scouting memorabilia recycled back into scouting. Appreciate it very much.